A teen is recovering after a friend pushed her off of a bridge in Washington, and the incident was caught on camera. 16-year-old Jordan Holgerson is seen being shoved off the bridge near Moulton Falls.
3, no, I won't go in. 2.
Well, she's saying no.
No, I...
Ready? Oh, that's so close.
Holgerson suffered 5 broken ribs, a punctured lung, and air bubbles in her chest. The Clark County Sheriff's Office is investigating the incident, and it is unclear if the friend who shoved her will be criminally charged.
Let's break down now the legality of that pushing incident off the bridge in the Pacific Northwest. And to help us do that, we have a special guest here on the Law and Crime Network. Michael Benner is a reporter up there, and he's one of the ones who broke this story. And Mike, it's good to see you again.
Aaron, a pleasure to join you. How are you?
Pretty good. You know, just so people at home watching know, Mike and I worked together about a decade ago, so we've talked like this many a time. It's just been a few years. So what do you make of this case, Mike? You've got this shoving, and it's clear in the recording that the victim says, no, I don't want to do it, as she's looking off this precipice. I mean, that makes it pretty clear that this is unwanted.
Tell you what, Aaron, I cover crime out here. That's basically my beat, and this is one of the most bizarre cases I have ever seen. Here you have a girl and a bunch of friends escaping to a very popular recreational spot in the midst of some very hot weather here in the Pacific Northwest. And let me just set the picture here, set the scene for you. Moulton Falls is a beautiful area. The East Fork of the Lewis River runs through it. This is Southwest Washington. There's this bridge, plenty of signs posted that say no jumping, no diving from this bridge because it's several stories high, but people do it. They do it regularly. And she and her friends climbed up there to jump. She climbs over, she gets ready to jump, and then becomes timid. Not surprised at all. When I was up there at the bridge just looking over, I got the heebie-jeebies. But anyway, you can see her become timid. She has second thoughts, and that's when her friend comes in from behind and pushes her. It's wild. She falls several stories and is badly injured.
Yeah, so how deep is the water under that? Because it's clear that there are rock cliffs on either side of it, and looking down the river, it looks like the rocks are sort of protruding from the water, but directly under the bridge, is it 10 feet deep? Is it 20 feet deep? Is it 40 feet deep? Do you know how deep it is?
I don't know the exact water levels there, Aaron, but I can tell you it is deep enough that, again, people jump from that bridge regularly. It's just they're not pushed, and if you're pushed and not expecting it, and you're falling horizontally to the water, that sort of thing, it can be very dangerous. So it is deep enough to jump from that bridge, but again, not to be pushed, which she was.
Now, you interviewed the person who was pushed, correct? What was your takeaway from that interview?
Jordan Holgerson is her name. She's 16 years old. We were the first to interview her. We talked to her exclusively on Wednesday night, the night it happened. We FaceTimed from her hospital room. And, she basically said she could have been killed. She knows the severity of this. She was very honest. She's like, at first thought, it's not a big deal. She's like, I was pushed. And then she's like, I thought about it. And she was talking to doctors who have since said she could have been killed. And she realizes just how serious this is. Now, I can tell you and confirm that the Clark County Sheriff's Office in Southwest Washington is investigating this as a crime. But because of the uniqueness of this case, they're keeping a lot of the details close to the vest and aren't saying much. They have to cross their T's and dot their I's before they say anything truly public.
Yeah, now did the victim and the assailant know one another?
They did, but there was a 2-year difference. Again, the victim, Jordan, is 16. The suspect, if you want to call her that, the girl responsible for the push is 18 years old, which is really disturbing to the victim's family. They say at 18 years old, you should know better than this. In fact, at 17, 16, 15 years old, you should know better than this.
Well, it would certainly seem so. I mean, I was taking a look at the statutes there yesterday when we first saw this, Mike. It seems to me at a minimum that they may have a simple assault here, okay? It's an unprivileged pushing. It's clear, okay, a perfect legal case can be made that she's standing there, she looks trepid, she says no. then the contact happened. So it seems like a pretty clear-cut, simple assault charge, at least based on the facts we know right now. It's a possible aggravated assault. That's a felony in Washington State because that involves intentionally assaulting or shoving another and recklessly inflicting substantial bodily harm.
You're right, Aaron. I mean, you know how this works. And detectives need to establish some sort of intent. That is, I'm sure, what they're doing. You know, I can tell you just from looking at social media, this story's gone viral. It's blown up on social media. Some people out there, a lot of people, frankly, are saying she should, face attempted murder charges. That is probably a little bit of, extreme. If I could get inside this 18-year-old's head, I think she was probably just trying to, I don't know if help is the right word, but get her friend to do something that she knows her friend probably wanted to do, which is jump.
But and was having cold feet about it. I mean, yeah, I agree with you on that one. I mean, I think that the intent element, the intent to kill, just doesn't look like it's here. So the attempted murder thing looks like it would be a very tough charge here. But I see some level of an assault charge here and a reckless endangerment charge. If I were to look in the crystal ball and say if there's going to be charges, that's probably where I think it's going to go. Michael Benner, reporter at KGW TV in the Pacific Northwest. Appreciate you joining us on Law and Crime. Good to see you again, Mike.
My pleasure, Aaron. Take care.
Okay, we'll catch you next time. We're going to take a quick break here on the Law and Crime Network. We're going to be back, though, with more from the Tex McIver murder case in Atlanta, Georgia. We're listening to that key witness, Danny Jo Carter. We'll have a lot more of her testimony as she describes the shooting that rang out in the vehicle she was in with the defendant. We'll be right back.